Rahul Ishwar is saying that there is a time and a place. Karan Sangwan has every right to be a critic of the government, to be a critic of the new proposed legislation on a new IPC. He can write a column on it. He can express his opinion on it. But in the classroom, he shouldn't be doing that. How do you respond to that?
Well, let's talk context, and let's talk in the media context.
Yeah.
They in the newsrooms, what editors say, you can report anything as long as I don't get a call from Amit Shah's office. So that's exactly the kind of context which has happened in both these educational ventures. Whether it's Unacademy or Ashoka, they say, don't say anything which will get us into trouble with the government. We need the government for our finances.
I know, but governments controlling media didn't start with this government. Every government that I have seen as a journalist has wanted to. Every politician wants a pliable media, right? We agree. Every politician.
We agree. It's the degree of control, and right now there is no doubt that we have a government that which seeks to control every important field of human influence, whether it be the media or whether it be the classroom. Now to Rahul's point, that teachers should not express any opinion. You should not be political. Please go to any of the great teachers. You look at Michael Sandel's scholastic videos on YouTube, where you have to make the child think. You have to make your student think. And how else do you get the student to think except by saying that this is what I think. This is what do you say in response?
Right.
And you've had responses.
But then I want to take that to Ashwini ji, but I have to ask you a question, Sanjay. Are you okay if politics that you don't concur with are also expressed in the classroom? So there could be a Jordan Peterson, for example.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Don't you remember that video where there was a teacher who actually called a student, a Muslim student, Osama bin Laden or something like that? And what happened within the classroom? See, if somebody steps
I don't find that political. I find that discriminatory. I think we're mixing up things here, right? We're mixing up things here.
That's extremely political. That's extremely political.
But the
response was political also. Now, if let's put it this way. Let's take Sangwan saying, you see, all this has happened because we have decided to decolonize the Indian mind. And we have dispensed with what the Macaulay Putras brought in. Macaulay's IPC is dead. We are getting into the Amrit Kal of litigation. We have a Nyay Samhita. We have drawn on our ancient texts. Do you think that would not be political? Of course it is political.
And I am saying that you and Ruchika would maybe not be comfortable with that. I don't know. I don't want to assume for both of you.
I would say that would be acceptable politics and it would be challenged in the classrooms.
Okay. That's a very interesting argument that teachers should be open with their politics in the classroom and let the students negotiate back, argue, debate instead of trying to sanitize the classroom. First Ashwini Mahajan, then Ruchika Sharma. Ashwini ji, please go ahead.
In fact, sorry to say, nobody would agree to, many people will not agree to Sanjay ji, because, I have already said that, we are okay with it, and it is between the organization and the employee or the associate. There is no problem. They continue or they don't continue. The basic question which we are discussing right now is whether an academician should teach his students, because they are captive audience. So should we be making use of this captive audience for my political philosophy or my political thinking, or for my political aspirations? So these are the very important issues, and therefore we must answer that. and I'm okay with it. Whether because I have myself been involved in the political and economic dispensations, economic policy dispensations, and we had been uh, talking against the government, whether this government, the other government. But and that is very important part, because only academicians can do it. But it should be scholarly act. It and it's
So,
and
Professor
I
Mahajan,
tend to
listening
agree
to you,
with
listening to you have less of a problem with the paper that Sabyasachi wrote, because you're saying it's a paper, debate the paper. You have
yeah,
more of a problem with what's happened in the Unacademy case. Am I right?
yeah.
Okay, interesting.
That is very
I,
important.
I
I disagree with Ruchika ji, because these are two different things, and making such sweeping statements in the classroom, which is a captive audience for yourself, and there is no dialogue between the student and the teachers. If the
yeah.
students are allowed to say something about that, then it will be the complete this thing, and then
I think you've raised a very interesting question. I want to take that to Ruchika, because Ruchika, I think what Professor Mahajan is saying is somebody made the effort to write a paper. After that, you can say, I don't agree with this paper. The research was poor. It was only 11 seats. You are biased, but it was a paper. Here, it seems like the end of the class, he's winding up, he's taking his headphones out and he's saying, Yaad rakhna, aisa vote mat dena. Right? How can you compare the two things Ashwini Mahajan raises? And I think there's some merit in his question. Go ahead and respond.
Well, the only thing that cannot be compared is the fact that that academic paper, this is an exceptional academic paper that has been read by a lot of people. Most academic papers are actually not read by a lot of people. I would therefore think that the classroom is an even safer environment to voice out your opinion, because that is where you would get, using the new term, ratio. Students can disagree with you. In fact, the education system allows for something like that. In colleges, we have something called as a tutorial discussion, wherein everybody brings in their opinion. And a lot of that has to do with the current politics. A lot of that has to do with what you're studying in the classroom, and how you can sort of, develop what is called as critical thinking. That whatever I'm reading in the classroom, I am forming an opinion about what is happening around me. And I am now discussing that with my peers, with my teacher, who might have a different opinion than me. I may have a different opinion, but I have developed a tolerance for, this is how also students develop a tolerance for other people's opinions. It all happens in the classroom. It cannot happen in a paper. A paper is an echo chamber. I am just talking to myself. I don't even know how many people will actually read that paper, because
Right.
academia, when it comes to just paper, can become an ivory tower thing. It's only in the classroom that I can express my opinions. Also teach through this
Okay.
process to students how an
So
opinion
two,
is
two,
actually processed and
two,
made,
two,
and
two very differing,
possibly
interesting.
also be criticized for that opinion, and that's
I
fine.
actually, I actually find both the opinions quite persuasive by both Ashwini Mahajan and Ruchika Sharma, which actually proves the point that a lot of people listening to an open debate can actually see merit sometimes in both arguments, and that is maybe Rahul. The point that is being made is that is what a classroom should be like, right?
Two submissions. First of all, Sanjay ji was saying with great respect, somebody called Osama. That is outright discrimination. That is outright wrong. That is Islamophobia. We shouldn't promote it at any cost. I don't believe that can be an argument. For example, in Kerala, we had seen Kerala story and love jihad kind of thing. If some of our right-wing friends is injecting a topic saying that let us debate about love jihad law, let us debate about love jihad, it would be outrightly offensive for our Muslim brothers and sisters. That's the reason why classroom should be kept out of this purview of partisan politics. Yes, we can definitely debate Patel versus Nehru. We can definitely debate Ambedkar versus Mahatma Gandhi. That's all good, because that is more on a theoretical, intellectual, ideological, and philosophical level. But when it comes to political issue of the present day, it can create fissures. It can create animosity, antipathy. We should don't let our students into such divisive rhetoric. Definitely, the large-scale political ideology can be debate, but when it comes to Arvind Kejriwal versus Modi ji or Rahul Gandhi,
Yeah.
somebody
Leave
because
electoral, leave current electoral politics out of the equation. Sanjay, I've got to close. Last word to you. Sanjay Hegde. Sanjay Hegde?
The,
Yeah.
the very act of learning, the very act of teaching is intensely political. It is only when you debate that you go forward, and it is education which provides you a ladder upwards. So if you cannot access the ladder, if you are told that no, this
Yeah.
is off bounds, An unexamined life is not worth living.